Smallest cup. Mike and I have similar cup. Mike and I.
Yeah. Oh, you can't see the cup. Now you can see the cup. Here you are. Fresh coffee. Agile Slovenia. Welcome to the conversation here.
Hi.
And a warm welcome, Matej Filipovic and Captain Flado. Mike Leber here, and my guest today is the core team of the Agile Slovenia conference. Agile Slovenia conference. So that brings us to the first question. When is that taking place?
This year, it's happening on the 20th of October. It's the conference day. Yeah, so in 2 weeks, or what is now, so the 20th of October is the conference day, and then next day, so 21st and 22nd, we have 2 workshops additional to the conference day.
And it's online this year, right? Because I think that's why you asked for this year, and it's not the first year you're doing this, but it's the first time online, right?
Yeah, it's the first time online. So we are a little bit nervous, although that for the last year and a half, we are, let's say, quite familiar with online workshops and online work. But still, conference is something different. First time online, because last year we didn't organize it because we were not sure how or whether we should organize it in person or online. So this year we said, definitely, let's organize it. And online is the safest way.
Yeah. So whoever watches this video 5 years later, because that could happen, right? The video lands somewhere on social media, it lands on YouTube. This was for the sake of Corona in the first place, but we'll see if there's more to it. Maybe in 5 years, we don't know anymore. But it's such a pleasure having you here. It's about Backstage. And yeah, because we're not on site, there is unfortunately no real Backstage. So Backstage is obviously online here, but today it's really about the conference as such. And I think there is a lot to Agile conferences, more than just having a program. We'll talk a little bit about the program, about the speakers, but I think there is a lot to the why running actually such an event in a certain location or geography. In this case, I'm from Vienna, you're in Slovenia, it's not far away. And I sometimes refer to the mid of Europe, which is not probably true. It might be more northern or whatever. For me, Slovenia is already a little bit southern, so at least you have better weather in summer.
Yeah.
And night stops, right? It's clear. But let's get back to the origins of Agile Slovenia, because as we just said, it's not the first time. And talk a little bit about the purpose of the conference. And when did you start the conference? First time. When was it the first time?
Okay, I can answer that. I will answer that.
Question for you.
No, because I can.
That's a good point. We shouldn't answer it.
Yeah.
Let's say the other way around. How often has it taken place already?
Yeah.
A little bit of math.
Yeah.
Well, now we have to do the math because we didn't organize it last year and we missed it 1 year also in between. So
okay. So let me be blunt. When you started in 2012, what was the actual goal of the conference? So what was your intent? And that was really early. I mean, I know. I think that's important. 2012, there were
in Berlin, long time ago. I don't know if it was 2011 or 12. But then I came home so enthusiastic I met such a great people really from this Agile community that I said, maybe in Slovenia we could also organize something like that. Because in Slovenia at that time we had nothing in this area, so no community. We were just, let's say, few friends meeting from time to time, have a beer. So no real community, not even Agile, Scrum or whatever community. So I said, maybe it's time to organize one Agile conference on sunny side of Alps in Slovenia. And so in 2012, it happened. And if I remember now, so when I was searching for, let's say, speakers, because I met all these first-year speakers in Berlin, so I invited Jürgen Apelo to come to Slovenia and have a keynote how to change the world. That was his keynote, because really it was in sync with what I wanted to do. So I wanted to let's say a little bit change Slovenia, not the whole world, but at least Slovenia. So that's how it started.
Beautiful. So how is the world, the Agile world in Slovenia? I mean, if we really talk, or maybe southern part of Europe, it could be also around the borders. What's going on there? What has changed maybe in the meanwhile?
You can say what's now.
Well, we are a really small country, and usually it takes time to adapt something new. We don't like change so much. So also when talking about Agile, it takes time for people to, trust the process, to trust the people that teach Agile and stuff like that. So we're getting better. People know Agile now. I think every year is better, and we will try to keep doing the work we do. So we make a change, maybe an impact. But I don't know. I wasn't in the organizing team in 2012, so I don't know how was what was the status then. But I think now it's already known, like the terms and the process and the methods. But still, there is still room for improvement.
Is it rather? I mean, I can give my example for Austria. I think Austria is. How can I compare it? I used to work a lot in Germany and with German companies, with and without Agile stuff. So also in the business arena and IT arena. And I felt Austria was always quite behind. And, not in terms of from intelligent point of view, but in terms of, just the development. So what was already there happening in Germany, because it's just larger, right? As a higher probability for things to happen, came to Austria probably 3 to 5 years later. And I still have the feeling, although we have a very vivid innovation ecosystem, although being very small, it's still a lot of traditional approaches. Now, everybody is into Agile, but the way companies here are into Agile is rather the mechanical way. There is a lot of confusion. What should work and what should people do and why should we change it all? And I don't want to call it resistance. Is that similar in Slovenia? Is it? I don't know. Companies.
I think that the first time when, I don't know, a large company hears about we want to go Agile, they get scared. Like they think that they have to stop doing everything the way they are doing it and change everything upside down. So, and I think that's the main issue. They're just like scared that everything will be different, but it's not. So maybe you guys can add something.
So I still remember in 2010 I went to London to attend certified Scrum Master course, and David Hicks, the trainer, was explaining about transparency also, of course. And on day 2 I raised hand and I said, David, that will not work in Slovenia. That will not work in Slovenia. And he looked at me, and after a few seconds he said, Orange, you will see it. This mentality and mindset, it will also come to your part of Europe. So that's what he said. It's really different now. It's better. I can say it's better. It's more recognized. It's more people are not so much resistant, maybe, but we still have a lot of work to do. Still.
Well, but that rings really a bell about you and your colleagues, but because probably there's not probably. I know there are more people around your company and the community. It's all about the community too. You're actually change agents, right? I mean, you could probably find other jobs, right, which are more secure, and just say, hey, I could become a banking clerk, or I don't know, I could become a normal manager in a traditional company and just work from 9 to 5, or I don't know, and have all the challenges with IT not working and this not working and customers disappearing. We can all do that, right? But
that wouldn't be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah, that's true. I believe nobody likes that. I believe actually nobody likes that, and still there are more than 1,000 people in this type of jobs.
Well, well, actually, some people like it. Some people like the routine, 9 from 5. That's it.
But what is interesting, you're exposing yourself to something where you initially don't get money for, right? It's like, I mean, changing Slovenia is nothing. I mean, you're not in the government of Slovenia, and nobody in this Agile community is. So you're doing it from the heart, right?
Yes.
So that's the amazing part here.
I can confirm that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mitka. I joined Corpo Hub most recently, so I'm the youngest and the newest member of the team, and I can say that was one of the things which made me join the Corpo Hub team. That they are on the forefront of this change that is going on in Slovenia or in this part of Europe. So definitely.
And that's what I wanted to ask, actually. I already want, I mean, you look very young. There's nothing to see. I mean, video helps us sometimes, but I recognize Vlado being rather maybe a next generation change agent. What about the younger generations, those who come from university or maybe now enter university? Because we just talked about culture and regional culture. Do you recognize a change there? That would they say, when I get out of university, I'm looking for a different job. I'm expecting a different kind of environment because I'm hearing and seeing that on the internet. I've been maybe on an external 1-year semester or whatever in the US, and the world is globally connected now. Do you recognize a change here or a shift? And what about startups?
The interesting thing that happened this year was that we got like a message from a really young guy. I haven't met him, but he wrote to us if he could have a talk at our conference, that he's been following Agile, like he's really interested in it, that he wants to push it further. And he wrote to us, so he's among the speakers this year. I don't know, maybe Lorenz, you could tell more because I don't know him, but I was surprised. So people do know us, do know the Agile world, and want to do something in this community.
Hey, that's super cool.
That's true. Yeah. So there is a little bit different, let's say, viewpoint from these young people, and they're really trying hard. Also, although that Slovenia is a really small country, just 2 million people, but still we don't know everyone. So we are still surprised, positively surprised, when we meet young people passionate about that. And let's say we are really honored when we can also have our workshops or talks at the university or schools, because that's really, at least I can say for myself, that it's really great. So I think it is different. Maybe Vlado, you're the youngest, so you can maybe say your view.
I don't actually consider myself as a Gen Z, which is the young generation that is coming from the universities now, but from what I can see, there is definitely a shift in mindset, which is going on, and it will become probably a trend set in Slovenia also. So not working 9 to 5 and having that work-life balance on the top of the priority when choosing the next job, and that's
So that's actually then a great opportunity to basically attend your community, not only coming to the conference, that's one part, but also basically meeting and mingling within this community to basically see, as a traditional company or employee in a traditional company, how people, what they talk about, what the next generation is looking for, and what you could create together. Everybody talks about innovation, but it's so easy to talk about in theory and then not getting it out. So thinking about these different people, who's coming typically to the conference, or maybe this year, who's coming to the conference this year, specifically if it's online? It might be not only Slovenian people. I'm not sure. You know more. Let us know. Whom can we expect? No names, by the way. No names. Of course, this is, we're not talking about names, but what's a typical person to meet there?
So I can say that it really started just Slovenian people in IT. That's how it was in 2012.
Right.
And we got 100 people. So really, it was IT, mostly men. Really, I can count women on one hand, really. That's how it started. But now it is different. First of all, let's say a mix of men and women, also outside of Slovenia, more or less from Croatia and Italy. So not not from all over the world, of course. So neighbor countries, and definitely not only from IT. Really, it's only 20-30% is really IT companies. All others are from banks onwards. So it changed a lot. That's my opinion. So
Yeah, people come to see each other. A lot of them know each other, like they exchange ideas, they exchange practices that have been happening, I don't know, for the past year, maybe to learn something from each other. So yeah, when we had the in-person on-site conference, it was really nice to see all these people coming together, hugging, like mostly Slovenians. Yeah. So we're gonna miss a little bit that this year going online, but like Warren said, yeah, from like different departments, different genders, different ages. So that has changed. Like Warren said, in 2012 it was mostly IT men. Now it's, I don't know, financial, healthcare, banking. Yeah.
And also public sector, let's say, which I'm positive surprised and happy.
That's it. That's a hard nut to crack. Yeah.
That's what I can imagine, because specifically, I believe public sector is probably the closest culture-wise to the regional culture, right? It's probably, I mean, for example, Austria. We don't have an emperor anymore. We have other problems now in government, to be honest, since yesterday or since the past few days. But it's a little bit calm. It's a little bit slower. And when we talk digital, it's already, I mean, I'm joking now, but I might say sometimes digital means here, hey, we've got email. Cool. Now we're actually
something like that. Yeah.
But now that we know a little bit about who will attend the conference also this year, and not in person, hopefully next year, let's see how that goes. But what do you think? I mean, a little bit of a sales pitch. What's the value of the conference? I mean, if I go there, what do I take away? What is it I can expect as value add? Meeting other people. So that's the first thing, right?
Well, this year there are two, like, some sort of main topics, maybe, if we could say so. It's perfect for HR people, human resources,
HR,
to learn about psychological safety, and the other is product development. So we're counting on a lot of product owners to come and to learn about all the novelty and news in the product development world. So that are like two topics, main topics.
And I think you've got amazing speakers. I'm pointing here. Here's the URL for you when you want to check out the program and details.
That's probably the best part. Sorry, Lawrence, for stepping in, but Lawrence was the one who managed to gather all these captains who will join us on conference day, and that's the amazing part that probably wouldn't happen if we would be live somewhere in a hotel in Slovenia or in Ljubljana. So, but Lawrence can say a bit more about how he got all of these speakers to join.
Speakers, and the thing that happened in 2019 with the air company, you know.
So because in Slovenia we are a small country, so we are not so interesting destination and conference for let's say speakers with big names. So I was trying hard in previous years. So for example, this year Johanna Rothman, which was on my list for the previous few years, she said yes, of course, because it's easier, it's online, for example. So and also because it's also quite hard to fly into Slovenia, because we have a small airport with only more or less one airline company.
So you have to jump off the plane doesn't land, and you have to take a parachute, or is it this way?
We have stories about that. For example, in 2019, few days before the conference, our airline company, got bankrupt. So cancel all flights. So it was a mess. It was a complex domain from, let's say, Canadian. So, for example, two speakers from Switzerland, from Roche, they came 1 hour before the talk. They managed to come to the venue, have a talk, and then next morning they went. So, it's not so easy to get well-known speakers to Slovenia, because we are small country, small conference. So this year we are really happy that we got speakers that were on our wish list for the last, let's say, few years.
It is interesting now that you're talking, because it feels like you're so humble about your current being. On the other hand side, if you just think about, well, it was not every year, but on the other hand side, at least you're on the circuit since 2012. And Monaco is not a big country in the world, and still there's a lot happening there. I don't know. Singapore is not huge, but a lot of people go to Singapore. So I think size or being famous as a city like New York or London is maybe not the actual topic. I think what you have is spirit to create something, and it can, it's just a matter of spirit, I believe. And that's right into the topic, right? This question of we always talk leadership, and we know what you're doing is leadership, but you're not the CEOs of a company. You're leading in terms of the community, aren't you?
I agree. But we in Slovenia, maybe we have this humble sort of attitude. So, but I agree, Mike, with your, let's say, observation or comment. Because we are trying hard since 2012. We organize conference. We do, let's say, great event. So, but we still have this. We are a small country on the sunny side of Alps, and
Because when you think about it, we have the both workshops are sold out. Even like pushing it a little bit up the limit. The attendees are building up. So maybe
how many workshops are there? How many workshops will there be part of the conference?
Two.
All right.
2 workshops.
Okay. All right.
And it's in separate days, so people can manage to come to both of them. So
people can join the conference day and both workshops because one thing is.
That's always nice. It's to give opportunity to dive deeper for those who want to. So here's the speakers list. So for anybody who wants to join there, giving a few names again. You mentioned Johanna Rothman. Who's there too? I know there are a few famous names. Roman Pichler, right?
He was on my wish list at least for years. For example,
product management, as you said. HR. Anybody? You mentioned HR. What's to expect there? Just to know.
It's Gitte from Mentimeter.
Exactly. Gitte is
and Marcin Floryan from Spotify.
Exactly. Super cool. Nice.
Really, I'm really looking forward, for example, this year's conference. So this online has also a positive thing that it was easier, for example, to agree with some speakers, easier to get them here, it's logistic. Really, I'm really looking forward this year's. I'm sure it will be great, but it will be different, but still great. For example, we also have planned, of course, it will happen open space session. But it's quite a challenge. So I'm really not sure how it will turn out online because in physical, in-person setup, it's we know how to do it. But online, but definitely we are sure we'll create a great open space. But it will be a little bit challenge.
But we like challenges. Otherwise, it would be boring.
Sure, please, Matej, go ahead.
And while we're talking about an online conference, we also want to make it as much interactive as possible. So we also have something planned in the morning during the registration. It's still a bit of a surprise. It's not already yet, but if you're gonna come to the conference, you can expect not just a normal registration waiting for the speaker to start talking, but we have something else ready.
Super cool.
So start the day.
So far, we call that active morning. So
For now, we can say that it's gonna be an active morning.
Active morning.
Is it digital yoga or something? I'm just guessing. Let's see what happens. Never know. I don't know anything. But this sort of things I'm expecting because yoga is something very popular, and I could only think about digital and joking. But what is interesting, I mean, Backstage, if we were now in Slovenia, we would obviously sit really maybe at the campus or at the site, at the venue, and maybe a few hours, maybe one day ahead to the conference, you would be super busy catering, all this stuff, lighting, music, whatever is needed. That's all not relevant with the online format, which is a pity somehow. But how's Backstage? How's this organization thing different when you do it online?
Mostly on Slack and Trello.
Yeah, but it's like at least I think we're getting busier and busier as the conference is approaching. It's like just the venue, and the catering is out, but the rest, as I don't know, compare it to the 2019, it's getting busier.
We need to take into consideration that we started preparing the conference almost 6 months ago, and we did a lot of work before the summer. So
awesome. Yeah.
Well, we're a small team, and we try to do really as much as we can.
Yeah. And I mean, coming back to you are the core team, and there is more people at your company and more people at the conference, helpers and everything. But there is also a bigger community in Slovenia as such. And again, for me, when we talk conference, it's this single event, right? You just mentioned 6 months, then there is 1, 2, 3 days, and that's it, right? Of course, I think you can imagine done, right? You might say done, great energy, calming down now, resting. But actually, I think that doing a conference is part of a life cycle, and your community is quite large, right? Do you have any meetups, anything like ongoing or something?
Yeah, so we have Slovenia Scrum meetup, official meetup. It has more than 500 people, participants. So we, unfortunately, we don't meet as regular as I would like. Let's say, I don't know, every month or 2 months. So, or sometimes 3 months. So that's one community, the biggest one, I think, more than 500 people. And of course, we also organize some other meetups. So not with a real name or so, just meetups, ad hoc meetups. And because of this, let's say, because this is Agile Slovenia conference, we also organize in January Lean Slovenia conference.
Oh, okay.
It's more focused on lean innovation.
All right.
But it's younger. It's only in third year now, or about fourth year. Yeah, so it's younger. But we are trying also in that domain, because to have one in the winter, one at the end of summer. So that's what it's currently happening.
Yeah. So if you think about the future of the conference, do you think online will stay the main format, or do you somehow think like, well, next year would be great to get back in person, or even hybrid? I'm not sure. Is hybrid something you would think about, or are there any plans or anything you would consider, already thought about?
Well, I think I can speak for everyone if I say that we are hoping for an in-person conference next year. I mean, we do our best, and you try to make it like interactive and engaging and everything, but it's never the same like the in-person event. It's not. No. So we're hoping, I think, for the in-person.
Yeah, because let's say in person in 2019, the last in-person conference, when you see these people in the morning coming in, and we know a lot of them, really know them. We are also friends with some. When we meet each other, let's say at least once a year, it's something that really it's something special. And they meet each other, and they hug each other, really, because
some people come just to see other people,
to see other people, really,
spend time with them, because otherwise they don't have the opportunity.
So and also in our company, we are without office since last April. So I'm really looking forward to the sooner or later we have office and be together again.
Right.
We are social creatures, so I think we all need socializing.
Although, of course, this online being at home has a positive things also. So
but this year we're gonna miss our Captain Agile, because in 2019 we had a real size version of this captain, our persona of the conference, and he was there on the stage with the speakers, and then we made some great photos with this captain. And this year, that's one thing we can't do. Like
And if I can add, so 2 years ago we had this real size Captain Agile, and from one attendee came and he said, "Can we take this Captain Agile to our company? We pay you, And we said, "Okay, it's for free. Just take it." So they took this Captain Agile. And after, I don't know, 1 year, they send us a photo. So this captain is still alive in their office,
in their company,
still there, really. So it's living.
So here's your website, right? This is your website. 12 days. Here it says 12 days, 6 hours. Ready now. I just wanted to bring this up because I was also curious. It says here the balance game, and I mean, first of all, here's the captain, right? This might be your
this is like a persona or something.
Key figure. But what's the balance about?
Well, actually, when we started to get the ideas and brainstorm about what the message would be, each year we have like different message. Always is like this Captain Agile and I don't know, something. So after the last year with the pandemic and social distancing and like, I don't know, the feeling was that people got anxious, depressed, like burnt out. And we wanted to like spread the message of this balance, like bring balance back to your life. And then it's like really easy to communicate it with this Captain Agile. Yeah, he will help you bring balance back to your life, like anything. So this is like the topic this year, mostly because of the pandemic and Corona and the anxiety and everything that we've been feeling. So that's why the balance.
That is super awesome because I'm not sure, probably you have the same thing. When we talk to companies nowadays, that's the biggest challenge they have. Not only talking about how hybrid shall work for them, that is a topic, but specifically they're losing people in terms of psychology, in terms of there's a lot of challenge at home and fear also about the workplace.
Fear, of course.
And
people got scared and like burnt out with everything that was happening. Closed schools, like homeschooling, job, like online work. People didn't know how to work from home actually, so they got like stressed, anxious, and now we are hoping to like balance it a little bit in the future.
So that's super cool that you're picking this up. I would love to zoom out a little bit into the future, and there is these future games in the Agile space. They're also well known in the product development space. Let's say, I'm not sure if 2030 is even not too close, but let's say what about Agile Slovenia 2030? What would you think? What would you imagine it will look like? Just brainstorming a little bit with you guys as an organizer team.
I'm hoping we'll have a hologram of Captain Agile. That would be super awesome.
Like a 3-track conference, like one track for this subject, another track, and like maybe even the third track. I don't know, that's fantasy plan, let's say, but getting bigger, okay. More known.
But and make an impact, for example, because that's from day one, that's part of the game. And also, let's say, vision of our company is to create a society where people are excited to go to work on Monday. So really, that's our vision. That's why we do everything we do. So conference is part of that. So conference is part of that. It's a 1 year event only. It's once a year only, but still, the goal is to help a little bit to create this society, at least in our country. But of course, the goal is also outside of Slovenia. But to create society, a little bit better society, more balanced. Like this year is the goal. But so definitely we are sure we'll still gonna be there and bigger and happier. That's.
Now, an interesting point I was just thinking about would be like, online, I mean, gives us the opportunity, first of all, think about there is no barriers anymore, because suddenly your conference is exposed on the global market, if you like, the ecosystem of conferences. Now, what if we would what if we would think about the whole ecosystem? Because, like there are Agile conferences. I'm not sure if anybody knows how many. It's probably quite a lot across the globe.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, there is an Agile conferences calendar, which you can download from or book from Agile Alliance website, or just get in touch with anyone. And at this, somehow they are spreading the similar, I wouldn't say same, but similar message, quite often having similar or even same speakers, right?
Yeah.
And so if you would see that as a network and not just single entities, how powerful would that be? And Agile Slovenia playing a role in it, right? Just think about that. I'm just thinking, like, what would happen if this would be like a known ecosystem where everybody would say, yeah, sure, it's like the Agile Alliance. Actually, Agile Alliance is part of it, and this is the alliance. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Maybe that would be a great plan for 2030.
Yeah,
maybe about it.
But really, that something could come out that's not, let's say, real today, or even we can't even imagine what could be in 2030. So I totally agree with this, let's say, idea of what can happen. But somehow I'm still a little bit surprised that, I don't know, people sometimes, like you said, they can, for example, register for any conference in the world or any workshop anywhere in India or US or wherever. But somehow some people, they still like this local, somehow, I don't know, touch or somehow. So I think both will be this really global, something bigger, like global network. And so to get something out of that is not possible on local, but still, that we will keep this a little bit of this more
community together,
communities on a local level also, but I hope that something on this higher level will happen, and I'm sure it will, and I'm looking forward.
And I mean, there could be really these scenarios where, I'm not sure, I'm at Agile Slovenia, I meet the CEO of your corporate, of the largest telco, whatever, and then you talk with him or her, and then comes the CEO of Novartis, and both you meet them 2 months later at the conference in Rome, and basically the ideas are sparkling all over, and they are handed over while there is a local flavor. I'm not sure, I'm not into politics here, but I think that is somehow also attached to the idea of the European Union, right? It's not about being one, having no countries anymore, but it's still this global idea or larger idea. And is there anything else about the conference in 2 weeks? Anything to mention about the program or the formats? Anything to share? Anything that's fancy, ongoing, we didn't touch yet? The open space we mentioned.
Open space will definitely happen. Like we said, it's online, but we're gonna do the best out of it. That's so. In the morning during the registration, we will have active morning, so there will be something. Let's keep it a secret for now.
And in between, there are just great talks, a lot of new information about the Agile world, and I think that's the content is still the most valuable thing we want to share. Great content.
Now that you are so much into this, and anybody else might still struggle in some part of the world to either start in general a conference, but specifically struggling, should we move this online? We've been doing so far in person. Any tips or tricks you would think about? Anything you would at least give them, share with them to say, think about this, think about that, or don't bother, or whatever it is?
I would say first, start soon enough, preparing everything, because time can get tricky, and you fall in some busy schedules, and everything gets piled up. So definitely start early.
And also
So I
for
can. No, Metka, go.
For the online version, you have to have some technical knowledge, and you have to. I mean, you have to have the technical setup right, because you don't want to prepare this conference and everything, and then be without internet or something. God forbid.
Yeah, that's minimum, right?
Yeah.
No Facebook, no Facebook,
Yeah.
experience. Suddenly, everything is down.
Yeah.
So, for example, it is the major big difference is that you lose. You don't have to bother with all these flights and hotels, and so for speakers, because we arrange that every year. So that's a lot of work. Is gone in online. But you have a different kind of work and different kind of, let's say, questions and uncertainties. So some things are, let's say, easier, some things are harder. But yeah, we thankfully we started soon enough, more than 6 months ago. So yeah, that's what we can say.
Right. Yeah,
we are pretty calm. We are pretty calm for conference.
Yeah. 12 days to go, and we're like, a lot to do, but we started early, so everything's going like planned.
Yeah, so it's a marvelous countdown now for anybody who's curious, and I think we're coming close to the end of our talk here, coffee talk and coffee corner, what we called it. But there is actually one thing, you have a little surprise here, right?
Yeah.
So anyone who watched the video is invited to do what in order to get what?
Blado?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So we prepared a small surprise for this live session, for this coffee corner, for everybody who is watching and who will be probably watching this later. You can see the questions below that are rolling. And if you send the correct answers to our conference email, which is agileSlovenia@corpohub.com, the first one who gets the correct answer and send us an email, we will reward him or she with a free ticket for conference day.
Cool, beautiful. So here are the questions. In which year was the conference organized for the first time? That's question number one. Has to be correct. And it's hidden somewhere at least in our conversation here. How many workshops are organized as part of the conference this year? Also,
this one is easy.
So possible to answer properly. Send an email to Agile Slovenia @corpohub.com, and that gives you free entry to an amazing set of speakers and people like you, and meeting and mingling with other participants. Cool.
Yeah. Correct.
So the only thing which is left for me is wishing you a great time ahead of the conference. I think there is a lot of opportunity still getting in touch with you. For those who might see the video now after the recording or after a session here, they might still get in touch with you either with this question or anything else they might need for knowing what to prepare or be prepared for. And
happy to answer.
And then
the conference email gets to all three of us, so someone from this trio will answer that. So
And for me, it's also the only thing left. Wishing you an amazing event, which is the usual fruits from 6 months, as you said, preparation, and wish you a great time. Hope you can enjoy it somehow, because I know it's, as an organizer, you sometimes can't share the same pleasure because you take care for so many things. But also, I wish you all the best for the future following actually to the conference. As we talked about it, it's a life cycle. It's developing a community, an ecosystem, and I hope it's getting into the direction you hope for, and just changing the world of work, as you said, which is the core idea.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank
you for having
me. Pleasure.
It was really nice.
And I'm looking forward to having a coffee with you soon, somewhere in the future. Wherever that will be.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
All right.
So thank you and have a great evening.
Thanks very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.